Right, I'm going to click on Start menu. This is Windows 10 layout, and there is Microsoft Word. You can also go look through it in the menu if you choose to. Just have to be a little bit patient with it while it starts up. All right, so once it opens, you basically will find this interface. You'll see there's your blank document, and then they also give you some templates that you can actually download and use as well. At the bottom of the page, you can actually see all the documents that you actually are using, which were previously used in Microsoft Word. If I click on blank document, that's where I'm going to start this evening. All right, you'll see the name of the document was called document 1. I can then type, and then I can start. Typing my work. You'll see the cursor, the little blinky guy, means when I type, that's exactly where the information will appear. Okay, so take note of that. Right, so this is basically how a blank document looks, and you can then type it in and save your work. You've got the save option right over here, which you can click on. It's going to say to you, where do you want to save it? If you attended yesterday's webinar, you would have seen the OneDrive and how that works. But in our case, we're just going to say more options. All right, and then I'm going to simply say in documents. I'm going to give it a proper name. For example, my Mac assignment, and I click on save. Okay, so there we go. So there I've saved the document, beautiful, and then I can continue working, or later and I can come back to it. If I want to open a document I've already saved, you can click on the menu option. You can normally find it over here if it's been fairly recent, or you can click on open and go find where you saved it previously. In my case, I'm simply just going to click on the template. All right, and there we go. I just want to make one little change to my view because I see it's on a web layout view. That's how we use it to send emails. I'm rather going to use print layout view, so it'll make it a little bit easier to work with this evening. All right, let me go back to my home ribbon. As you can see, I've already typed some information in and my table of contents. When I scroll down, I'll see there's a section A and there's a question 1 and it continues down. Okay, so we're going to work through all these different things over here. Right, the first thing we need to understand about Microsoft Word, Excel and PowerPoint, we have something called a ribbon. A ribbon is basically this little heading over here. You've got home, insert, design, and all the way down to end, help. If you click on it, it brings up different features that are relevant to that ribbon. For example, if I click on the insert ribbon, I can see there's table and pictures and shapes and whatnot. All right, so you kind of need to go through these ribbons to see what does each one contain and basically how they work. Okay, but we're going to start with the home ribbon over here. So section A is my home ribbon, and that's what I'm going to tackle first. Okay, question 1. Let's have a look at bold, italics, and underlined. To make something bold, it's actually very, very easy. The rule number 1 is you need to select your text. All right, and then you'll notice there's a shortcut menu that always pops up when you're selecting information. It is the same options that you find right over here. If I click on bold, there we go. You can see instantly it's changed. Let's try the next one. Italics. There we go. Let's try the next one. Underlined. There we go. So as you can see, I'm making changes using these little features over here. All right. The next one we're going to look at is your font, your type, and your size. Now your font has different styles of writing. So I'm going to first select my text. You always select your text first. Then I click on the arrow and it will tell me all the different fonts that we can use. For example, there's Arial, which I know UNISA tends to use quite often. So you can select it. And then immediately you'll see the type of writing style changes. Then you can also look at the size. There's a little a here and a small, bigger a. Basically, that means making it, enlarging it, or making it smaller. You can also go do the same thing using this option where you can select the sizes. All right, just like that, and now it's nice and big. Okay, so that's how your font function works. Then we've got change case. Change case, again, you select your text first. Have you ever typed in something and realized later that everything turned out like this because it's capital letters, your caps lock was on? If you have, it's not a problem. Select your text and then you can simply say lowercase if you want, or sentence case, and then you can see it automatically just adjusts it, or capitalizing each word. And there we go, toggle case now is fixed, it's working well. All right, so there you can see small letter and then capital letters. So toggle case and capitalize each, these guys sort of are opposites of each other, as you can see, there we go. All right, so that's how your change case function works, quite nice. Then we've got highlighter. So if you can select your text, now we can highlight to make emphasis. Or if I want to, I can actually change the color of the writing of the text like that. All right, how does it work? It's also on off. In other words, if I don't want the highlighter anymore, I can click on it and then I can say no color and it takes it back. Same with your text. If you select the text, go back, select whichever color you want. If you want the automatic black, then there we go, and it brings it black. So let me just make sure I've got something highlighted to show you that we've done that task. The next option is your lists, where you can select all your text. And then you've got two different lists. You've got a numbered list and a bullet list. If I click on the bullet options, you'll see all the different features that are available. Now, bullet is an unnumbered list. In other words, there's no sequence order, so it doesn't matter which way you put it. It's like a shopping list. And then a numbered list is one that you have to follow the sequence. And then you can see instantly it's changing as we are selecting the different options. All right, so that's how the lists work. The next one is paragraph. Again, if you triple click, it will select the entire paragraph. We've got our alignment to the left, to the center. Now you'll see there's a gap on the left-hand side and the right-hand side. Align it to the right side. There we go. There's your margin space. Or justify. Now justify is a little bit different. I just want to use this bigger paragraph to show you guys. When I say justified, it basically moves everything from the left menu right until across to the right menu, and it fills it up with extra little spaces in between. So it fills up the entire space. I know UNISA, we tend to use this one quite a lot as well. Now you'll notice here, marketing and knowledge is spelled incorrectly. If you right click on it, now we're right clicking, you should see the spelling for the word, for example, marketing. If I correct it, there we go. Or knowledge, I right click on it, and there we go. If you do not know what a word means, right click on that word, go to synonyms, words that are similar, and it gives you some options. You can also use the smart lookup option. If I select it, give it some time because it's using the internet. That means you need to be connected. It says there's knowledge, it gives you everything about it, antonyms, which is the opposite, and synonyms as well. If you want to understand how to say the word, there's a little audio icon which you can click. Give it a few seconds. Let me just check my sound. Ah, that makes sense. It helps to have the speakers on here.
Knowledge.
And there we go. I hope you guys heard that. It says knowledge. Brilliant. All right, so that's basically a nice way to figure out what words mean and also to learn new words. The next one, insert ribbon, section B. Okay, so here, for example, we're going to look at a picture that's already been inserted for us. So when you click on a picture, we call these things objects. Basically, an object is something that has properties that you can change. All right, so once you click on this object, this picture, you'll see there's a new little toolbar that pops up automatically. So if I go click on it, it's going to give me all the different things that I can apply to this object. For example, the color. You can see they've got different fade out options. There we go. I can even change it, give it a border. There we go. I can change the color of the border if I really wanted to. There we go. So you're making all these formatting changes to an object. All right, then the next one is inserting a picture. So you go to the insert ribbon, click on pictures. Now you need to say, okay, where is my picture located? In our case, it's on my device, my computer. All right, then you need to know, where did you save it? So let me go check my folder. There, I've created a folder called Word, and there's my picture, and I want to insert it. But here's the problem. Okay, there we go. Beautiful. Fits in nicely as well. No problem in this case. Again, if I click on it, you'll see the picture format comes up, and now I can go play around with all the different effects that I want to use. And as you can see, as I move through this thing, you can see immediately the picture is actually busy updating itself. All right, so any object, you can change the properties. All right, the next thing. Oh, wow, there's the problem. Now you'll notice there's a big space. So I click my cursor and I hit the delete key to move the text back up again. Because when you insert objects, it tends to move things down. Okay. The next thing we're looking at is your mind map. Now, I know a lot of the modules, they want you students to create mind maps. So if you click on insert, again, there's the shapes option. And you get a whole bunch of different types of shapes. Let me select the oval. And there we go. Now, by default, it's going to give you this shape. Now, remember what I said. This is an object. It means it's got properties and it's got its own little menu. Let me go and see which options do we have. Let's go for this one over here. Now it's just changed how it looks. If I want to change my outline, make it a thicker line, there we go. So you can see all these different things that you can work through. What happens if I want to put some text inside the object? That's actually quite easy. Just right click on it, add text. All right, and there we go. Now I can type in my information. All right, now I want to build more things onto my mind map. I go to shapes. Let's go select an arrow. And there we go. Go back to insert, more shapes. Let's say, for example, I want something like this. And of course, you can click and drag them around as well, move them wherever you want them to be. And there we go. Whoa, bugger. There we go. All right, and you type in your text. So you can actually build a very nice little mind map using Microsoft Word. All right, the next thing we look at is page numbers. So it's still under the Insert tab. There it is, page number. And then I'm going to put it at the bottom of the page. There are different options you can go look at, but from us, we're going to use this option. And I'm going to select this one over here. Now there's something that happens. Immediately you'll notice it puts in your page number, but you'll notice the document itself fades out, which means I cannot edit anything now. It's basically saying to me, you're working in this footer, the bottom of the page, and the header, the top of the page. All right, so once you're done working in here or adding things, because there's a lot of documents information that you can actually go add in. Once you're done, you notice you have to close your header and footer. In other words, this function needs to close so that you can go back to edit your main document again. And there we go. Now, if I look, page 3 of 3, let me scroll up. Page 2 of 3. Page 1 of 3. So there we go. So there you can actually see the page numbers now appearing very nicely. The next thing we're going to do is inserting a cover page. Your cover page is the very first page in your document, and it does not have a page number. Currently, this is our first page. If I scroll a little bit down, I can see it's saying page 1 of 3. Now let's go have a look. Insert, cover page, and then it's going to bring up all the different types of cover pages that you can get and download as well. But in my case, I'm just going to take one of these ones, nice and simple. Give it a few seconds to insert. It might be downloading in the background, so just be patient with it. Don't just start clicking because it might crash the application. And there we go. So now you can give it a document title. Okay, and there we go. Now you've got a nice cover page. Again, you can go and change these objects. Remember, objects have properties. And let's see what we can do here. Yeah, I've just given it a red border. Okay, fine. You can just go play around with it. It's not a problem. Can put the date in, today's date, company name, in our case it's university. If you really want, you can put the address, or you can simply delete it. But there we go, there's your cover page, and you notice there is no page number here. It will start only from page 1. There we go. So that's perfect. That's exactly how it should look. Okay, the next thing we're going to tackle is also very important, is your headings. And with your headings, you can create a table of content. Right, let's go back to the top again. All right, so this is where I want to put in my table of content. I've left a space open here. Great. Section A was my home ribbon. Now, when I select my text, on my home ribbon, you'll see there are the heading options. Now, heading 1 means it's the main headings. Then I've got question 1, which I want to have a subheading, which is going to be heading level 2. Then question 2, also level 2. Question 3, deliberately I'm going to include some of the information in question 3, and I'm going to say heading 2. Let's say, for example, I want question 4 to be heading 3. Now it's a subheading of the heading 2s. There's number 5. I'm going to make it a heading 2. And so we continue. Section B is a heading 1, so it's on the first level. Question 7, let's make it a heading 2. And now you work through your document and you go put in all the headings that you want. But there's a catch to this, and I'm going to show you how the problem arises and also how to fix it. Okay, so once I've done all that, I go put my inserter where it says table of contents. And now I can go and click on review. Nope, references, sorry. Yes, references. Then I click on table of contents, and then they've given me 2 options here that I'm going to do. Manual means there's some other things you need to do. It's a little bit more complicated. Contents for table 1 or table of contents. So it's 2 choices and pretty much just the title that's changed. I'm going to say table of contents. And there we go. Now I'm going to delete the table of contents part that I don't need to keep anymore because it's gone, because I've just created a really good looking table of contents. And there you can see my heading 1s, there's my heading 2s, there's my heading 3, there's a 2, 1. So you can see it's basically aligning your different headings. But here, you see there's a problem over here. All right, if you leave your mouse there, it actually says click, control and click. It's a normal left click to take you to that section. Now I've clearly made a mistake, so I click on it and I bring it back. Now I select the text that shouldn't be in my table of contents. I go back to home, I go say normal, takes it back to what it was. Then I go back to my table of contents. Now I right click anywhere on the table of contents, I say update field, and then it says, do you just want to update the page numbers or the entire table? And I say, no, I want the entire table. Click on OK. And there you can see immediately your table of contents has just been adjusted. Let me just click away. And there we go. All right, so that's your table of contents. Now you know how to do a really professional looking one. Right, question 13, section C, we're looking at the view ribbon. Okay, so if I click on the view ribbon, I've got an option saying, actually it should be review ribbon. It should have an option saying word count. If I click on it, it immediately calculates how many words, letters, characters, spaces, paragraphs, and lines that I've got. Certain UNISA assignments are going to require you to have a specific amount of words. Use Microsoft Word, type in your assignment answer, use this function to see how many words you've got, and then review and make changes if necessary. All right, because if you can do it so easily, so can your lecturer. The next option is your view ruler. Now you can go to the view menu. There's your ruler option. Your ruler option is right on the top and on the side of the page. It actually indicates what is part of your header and footer and your margins, okay, for printing purposes. So you can actually add it or remove it like that. You can also move around. Let me just go to the paragraph section, for example. Yeah, I can actually move the paragraph there. You can see it's moving. I can even create a hanging indent. Okay, the other type of indent, I can't think of the name. So there we go. So you've got your hanging indent and your first line indent. And there we go. So you can actually just play around using your ruler, and it's a quick way to actually do that. Right, the next or the last option in our course this evening is your saving options. So once you're done, you can click on File, Save As. And there we go. So there you've got your doc.x. That's the latest version of Microsoft Word. Sometimes the lecturers ask you to upload a .doc file, which is the older version of Word. So there it is. And other times they ask you to save or upload PDF documents. So if I want to save as a PDF, I simply select PDF and I click on Save, and automatically it's going to convert my Word document into a PDF document. Simple as that. All right, I hope you guys have enjoyed looking at Microsoft Word. We've touched on quite a lot of things. If you want to learn more about Microsoft Word, you can go to a wonderful free website called GCF Global, and they're offering free OERs, Open Educational Resources, where you can go and watch the videos and instruction guides, exactly how to do everything in Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and they've got a host of other topics that you can also use. It's a very, very user-friendly website, and their videos are even on YouTube, so you can even go watch them on YouTube if you prefer. You just have to be a little bit patient with the website because it does require a bit of bandwidth, internet access. As you can see, it's currently still trying to open. All right, there we go. And there's, if for example, you click on topics, then you can actually see all the different elements that you can actually go use and learn about. There's so many, and it's free. So if I click on Microsoft Word, just got to be a little bit patient, and there we go. From the basics right through, you can actually go learn all the things that I've actually showed you tonight, plus many more items. Right, so check out that website as well.